King Harris has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected.
T.I.'s son, King Harris. So allegedly, I guess he got to jail and they jumped on him in there. Say it's bad. And allegedly, I don't know how true it is, but you got people putting in the comments that somebody busted open. That's messed up.
New footage just leaked, and it's brutal. King Harris, son of rap legend T.I., caught in a jailhouse ambush so violent it looks scripted for a gangster film. 1 second he's pacing the block, the next he's swarmed, fists flying, guards scrambling, chaos everywhere. Now King's in intensive care and the internet's asking, was this random prison violence or was he deliberately marked for destruction?
Like my nigga. I don't have no gang. I ain't in no gang. I got family. I got motherfuckers who willing to risk their lives and freedom to die by me and mine. You hear me? Well, don't fucking play with me, man. Don't fucking play with my motherfucking child, nigga. Ever, nigga.
King Harris's downfall didn't start with fists, it started with arrogance. He skipped court, racked up charges, and walked into the system with his head high like his last name was a bulletproof vest. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. What should have been a routine lockup turned into a spiral that no one, not even the Harris family, was ready for. Guards say King strutted through intake like he was back on Family Hustle, joking, flexing, flashing the bravado he'd polished on Instagram Lives, but inside, that act was gasoline on an open flame. Within weeks, the whispers started. Too cocky, too loud, too famous. He wasn't just another inmate, he was a prize target. Every eye on the block locked onto the kid who thought prison was another stage. And then, just days ago, it happened. The hit. Inmates cornered him in a blind spot, fists flying before he could even square up. Guards swarmed too late, dragging him out limp while alarms blared and the block went into full lockdown. It wasn't a scuffle, it was an ambush.
King, have you ever woke up with a roach on your face?
Here. No, that's not the goal.
All right, then. So there it goes.
Or in your ear.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I got some in the neighborhood with me that broke up with roach in your ear. Y'all want to go to the bando in my neighborhood? Do y'all want to go to the bando? Do y'all want to go to the...
For a family already addicted to drama, this was the nightmare plot twist no one saw coming. 1 minute King was standing on business for his followers. The next, he was hooked up to machines, his parents screaming into phones, lawyers racing against time. The Harris name had been dragged into chaos before, but never like this. Now the question wasn't about image, it was about survival. And survival doesn't care if your dad is king of the South.
So I just want to say this. First and foremost, there's no shame, no embarrassment in getting packed out, getting beat up. As long as you fight, you're respected. Now, did King fight? We don't know. I'm going to tell you my personal opinion about T.I.'s son, King. I think that young brother is a pure bitch.
The details leaking out are stomach-turning. King didn't just get jumped, he was hunted. Sources say the attack was set up like a chess move. Guards suddenly called to another block, cameras mysteriously glitching, and King steered into a corner where 3 men were waiting. The first blow came from behind, dropping him before he even had a chance to raise his hands. From there, it was chaos. Boots, fists, and makeshift shanks until guards tore through the door. By then, King was barely conscious, his face swelling, his body slumped, the block echoing with shouts and laughter. And then came the aftermath. Guards herded men back to cells, alarms still wailing, while King was carried out under armed escort. An emergency lockdown froze the prison in place, but the damage was already done. Blood on the floor, inmates whispering that the golden boy had finally been put in his place. Staff sources admitted off the record, this wasn't random, this was a statement. Quick question before we go deeper. Was this ambush random chaos, or do you think King was marked from day one? Drop your take in the comments because the footage feels way too clean to be coincidence.
You already know that when you come to jail, everybody jealous of what you done had in your life. That's just part of the culture. Like, I wish I would have had millionaire parents.
But here's the kicker. What was the message? Some say it was about respect. Others say King had stepped into the wrong negotiation, possibly even a contraband deal gone sideways. And the darker whispers that this was a hit, ordered not for King himself, but to rattle his father. Because behind prison walls, names carry weight, and sometimes tearing down a name is more valuable than any contraband. The footage that's gone viral doesn't show all of it. Just a flash of King trying to rise before being dragged down again. A blur of fists, then black. But that clip was enough to light the internet on fire. Hashtags trending. TikTok edits blasting rap beats over his downfall. Twitter roasting him as soft. Others calling it tragedy. And somewhere in between, one brutal truth. In prison, fame makes you a target, not a shield.
Hey, about King, right?
Yes.
As much criticism as I receive about my son, I would like to shed light on the fact we all got bad ass kids.
Let's be real. King Harris never had a chance inside. From day one, he carried the weight of a last name dripping in privilege and scandal. This was the kid raised on reality TV, posting flex videos from mansions, talking tough in designer clothes. In prison, that's a neon sign screaming, "Come test me," and test him. They did. Former inmates say King's biggest mistake wasn't his crime, it was his mouth. He allegedly bragged about his family's money, claimed respect without earning it, and even tried to film content behind bars. For older, hardened inmates, this was insult on top of insult. One ex-con put it bluntly, "We don't care who your daddy is. In here, you pay what you owe, or you get handled." King didn't pay. He talked, and talking gets you ambushed. Add to that the Harris family's endless baggage, lawsuits, trafficking rumors, that infamous Falcons game chokehold, and King became a lightning rod for hate. To inmates who had nothing but time, he wasn't a person, he was a symbol, a spoiled kid walking into a wolf den with reality show cameras still in his head.
Steve Sadar reached out to me looking to make a deal on behalf of T.I. and Tiny. And I told Steve Sadar that my clients want justice. So if the deal involves Tiny and T.I. turning themselves in and admitting to the crime that they've committed, then fine, we got a deal. But if it does not, then I would prefer to have the investigators do their work and to bring criminal charges against Tiny and T.I.
And yet, the irony is brutal. Outside, King wanted to shed the privileged son label, desperate to prove he was street enough. Inside, that act collapsed instantly. Because in prison, posturing doesn't work. Respect isn't bought, it's fought for. And when you pretend you're built for a world you've never lived, eventually, the real world will come crashing down on you. For King Harris, that crash came with fists, boots, and blood pooling on a concrete floor. If you're seeing the pattern here, the guard's gone, the camera's cutting, the setup too perfect, hit that like button. Not because you support it, but because you're starting to think this wasn't just a fight, it was a hit.
You not gonna get that from me. You just not. You ain't gonna never get that from me. You can go and catch 1,000 bodies. You still gonna be my son. I ain't finna treat you like, you know, hardened criminal. I don't give a damn what you go out there and do. So you just gonna have to. You just gonna have to. That's what you gonna get from me.
If you thought the prison ambush was explosive, step inside the Harris household right now. Behind those gated mansion walls, it's pure chaos. T.I. is allegedly pacing the floors, phone glued to his ear, dialing every lawyer, every politician, every halfway shady fixer he's ever shaken hands with. Word is he's offering blank checks and silent favors just to get King out alive. But Tiny, she's not buying it. Insiders whisper she's running her own war room, coordinating PR spin and demanding softer protection measures. Husband and wife are no longer united. They're locked in their own private war. Sources close to the family say the arguments are volcanic. Tiny blames T.I.'s hard-edged parenting for pushing King toward rebellion in the first place. T.I., meanwhile, is allegedly throwing daggers back, accusing Tiny of coddling their son into delusion. "You wanted a superstar, now you got a victim," one insider quoted him as snapping in a heated moment. And it's not just the couple. Extended family members are reportedly divided too. Some argue silence is safety, others insist a media blitz is the only way to save King from becoming a forgotten statistic.
T.I.'s son got King Harris and Boosie's son. They talk to the police like the pigs they are. And they finally got a chance to say, all right, we're going to let somebody snatch a knot in their butt. So, ain't no telling what done happened to that boy. You know, and then you got people all over the internet. Everybody know he was served with a silver spoon in his mouth. But you got people on the internet laughing about it.
And then there's the ghost of scandals past. Remember the trafficking allegations that nearly torched their empire? Those whispers are back, louder than ever. Some rivals are even claiming the family's messy reputation is part of why King became such a target. Inside the house, the weight of that history is suffocating. Outside, their once carefully curated family hustle brand has crumbled into the ugliest reality TV storyline yet. One without cameras, just blood and blame. The so-called royal hip-hop couple is unraveling in real time, and the audience, the entire internet, popcorn in hand.
Like I'm the only one on here who got bad-ass kids.
We all go through
You
it.
feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you ain't got no bad-ass kids, you got one and you got lucky. You hear me?
Yeah.
Anybody with 3 or more,
multiples.
you got one that you don't know what the hell you gonna do with.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Here's where the story stops being tragedy and starts sounding like a thriller. Multiple insiders are claiming King's attack wasn't about respect or even jealousy, it was about business. Prison business. Word is, a contraband deal went sideways, and King either fumbled a payment or tried to finesse the wrong crew. In a place where loyalty is currency, that's not a mistake, that's a death sentence. And the details? They're chilling. Reports say King was lured to a specific corner of the block, the one where cameras mysteriously cut out. The Department of Corrections swears it was a glitch. Former inmates say that's laughable. Cameras break when they need to break, one insider sneered. Guards being called to another block at the exact moment? Too convenient. It reeks of a setup.
Oh, the dynamics here are interesting, but I can't judge how the parenting is gone, because everything that we've seen has been stuff that many of us would have said or similar if we saw our children do this. But I will say this. A lot of what's happening is because it's in the public. Like most children don't have to do this in the public.
Even more wild, some conspiracy theorists online claim this wasn't even inmate on inmate. They argue King was silenced as part of a bigger cover-up, maybe tied to those lingering Harris family scandals. One viral TikTok even suggested the footage leak itself was allowed as a warning shot to the family. Too far-fetched? Maybe. But when cameras go dark, blood spills, and rumors pile up, the internet doesn't need proof, it just needs drama. And let's not forget, the Harris name attracts enemies. In the industry, in the courts, and now in prison politics. King's downfall isn't just about his choices, it's about the sharks circling his family for years. If this was a message, it wasn't just for King, it was for T.I., Tiny, and anyone who dares to wear their crown.
Any other time, I don't even call the police like for accidents. It ain't even no 911 call with my voice on it. If a motherfucker break in my house, I am not calling the police. I ain't doing it. You break in my car, steal some of my car, I am not calling.
Zoom out, and this isn't just about one bloody prison ambush. This is about legacy. The Harris family spent years branding themselves as hip-hop royalty, juggling music, reality TV, and messy scandals without ever fully breaking. But King's collapse has pushed them to the edge of an abyss. Fans aren't just asking, will he survive? They're asking whether the Harris dynasty itself can survive this public dismantling. Because the truth is brutal. King's privileged upbringing, his viral arrogance, his desperate attempts to be seen as real. All of it fed into this disaster. And now the consequences are bigger than him. Every headline, every rumor about contraband, every resurfaced trafficking allegation, it all bleeds into the Harris brand. This isn't just a son in crisis, this is a dynasty in flames. And the irony? T.I. once branded himself King of the South, a man untouchable, a man in control. Now his actual son is fighting for his life in a hospital bed, while his marriage strains and his reputation burns. Fame bought the Harris family a mansion, a reality show, a place in hip-hop history. But in prison, Fame bought King Harris a target on his back. So here we are, staring at the smoking wreckage. Will King Harris crawl back from this nightmare scarred but alive? Or are we watching the prelude to the final collapse of hip-hop's most scandal-addicted dynasty? The answer may not just decide one man's fate, it might decide the Harris family's entire future in pop culture. So here's the real question. Is King Harris just another inmate story gone viral? Or is this the first domino in the collapse of hip-hop's so-called royal family? Drop your verdict below, because this saga isn't just about King, it's about whether the Harris name survives at all. And if you want the next leak the second it drops, hit subscribe before the story gets buried.